I am Lamont at Large. Today we are at the Sunset Cemetery here in Manhattan, Kansas. I am here to visit the unmarked grave of Earl Woods. So as many of you are aware, Earl Woods is the father of golf great, you can almost call him a legend, if you will, Tiger Woods, arguably the greatest golfer that has ever played the game. Earl was born here in Manhattan, Kansas on March 5th of 1932. He played baseball for Kansas State University. Here's a few things that you may not know about Earl Dennison Woods. He was a decorated military man. He served 2 tours in Vietnam as an infantry soldier, and he served on the U.S. Army Special Forces, also known as the Green Berets. You don't get on the Green Berets unless you're just a physically and mentally tough person. He was a heavily decorated soldier. He received the Bronze Star, the Army Commendation Medal, and the Vietnam Gallantry Cross for his 2 tours in Vietnam. He retired as a lieutenant colonel from the United States Army. And Earl had a passion that he developed late in his life after the age of 40 for the game of golf. He was a pretty damn good golfer in his own right. Of course, not nearly as good as his son, but the flaws that he's seen in his own game when he had Tiger in 1975, who he named after a buddy of his from Vietnam. He wanted to instill that into his son. So you imagine a military man, how strict he was probably on Tiger, but don't let that twist the story. Him and Tiger were very, very close, to say the least. One of the closest father and son bonds you would ever want to see. Just a very, very tight father and son they were. And Earl is responsible by far and large for Tiger being the great golfer that he is today, even though he hasn't played as well as he has in his past just due to his injuries. When you're constantly repeating the same motions of your body in any sport, a lot of you people will be thinking, how could you get so many injuries and have to have so many surgeries from the game of golf? When you torque your body the way he does when he drives the ball so far, that takes a toll on your body. And a lot of people say that because Tiger Woods' body changed pretty drastically from when he was a young golfer until maybe about 10 years into his career. I mean, just by the looks of it, it looked like he gained about 50 pounds, and a lot of it was muscle. And a lot of people, some doctors blame the change in his physique for the rash of injuries that has occurred late in his career. Nevertheless, he is the reason why the popularity of golf reached a crescendo in this country. I mean, you had little kids playing golf. You had some kids in the inner city, even though golf is a very expensive game to play, trying to get into the game. So he is responsible for opening up the game to the eyes of many people that wouldn't normally, consider even watching it. But whenever Tiger was on the green, it was must-watch TV, and the game has never been the same since he kind of went down in terms of his physical capabilities. But there's also some other things about Mr. Woods that we might not know, and that is that he was a philandering cheat with his wife Coltita, the mother of Tiger. Mr. Woods was married 2 times. There's a lot of information on Wikipedia that's false, so I really can't go into details from what it says on that website about him, but a very tumultuous, contentious marriage, to say the least. And I'll say this, I've never been a cheat, I never will. You do what you do. But literally towards the end of his life, he went out with a bang, literally. I mean, it was to the point where he was bringing women to the house constantly. There's a lot of articles online, whether I Whether they are true or not, I don't know, but there's a lot of just disrespect on the part of Earl towards his wife when it came to the philandering. Earl died in California on May 3rd of 2006 at the age of 74. He had a heart attack, but boy, let me tell you something. Up until the day his heart was pumping, I mean, something else was pumping too, apparently, because this guy had just an insatiable appetite for women. And hey, I'm not going to judge him on that. He was a decorated soldier. He served our country. He when one of the most dangerous wars that there ever was. You can compare easily Vietnam to World War II. 50,000 men and women lost their lives, never came home. Kids just marching off to a jungle to never come back. So God bless all the souls of all the soldiers who died and perished in that horrible, horrible war. And regardless of what he did with his marriage, hey, listen. Some say that he might even have the right to do that. I don't know. It'd be difficult to get a divorce, I guess, when when all that money is coming in and what have you. So we're going to talk really quickly about why Earl Woods is buried in an unmarked grave. Well, you can read as many articles as I have and research, but at the end of the day, rumor has it that it was at the request of Clotilda, Earl Woods' wife, that he be buried in an unmarked grave due to all the philandering that he did. Now, you would think that since him and Tiger were so close, that Tiger would not let that happen. He would not let his father be buried in an unmarked grave. But I tell you, as odd as it seems, I guess her wishes were granted and he was buried, again, in a very low-key funeral. There was online reports that Tiger Woods wasn't even in town 4 hours. The plane landed, he got out, went to the funeral. It ended quickly and he left just as soon as it ended. And it's almost, to me, it's respect is a two-way street. I guess you can say, well, not I guess, it's just fact that, he disrespected his wife in their marriage. So I guess she got the last laugh in that he will be in a grave and people will never know. Well, let me tell you, one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is because regardless of the fact of what he did with his marriage, this man did not deserve to be in an unmarked grave. I have the utmost respect for our military, and it's because of them that we're able to walk around freely without people coming around and acting a fool. They have to go overseas to kick ass, so we can do whatever we want, say whatever we want, say the president's bad, say the president's good, I don't like this, I don't like that, and it's okay, because at the end of the day, you're free, and we live in the freest country on the planet, and I hope it remains so until the day that I die. Now, I am going to show you the unmarked grave of Mr. Earl Woods. So he is buried right next to this huge, looks like a berry bush, some small, tiny berries or what have you. He's buried next to his parents. This is Etta Viola Woods, wife of Miles Woods. This is his dad. And the grave of Earl Woods is this stone right here. This was where Earl Woods was buried. It was a very low-key funeral, like I said. His children came, they had the funeral, and they all left. And the only thing to mark this place where Earl Woods lies resting in peace is this huge bush damn near at the front of the cemetery. If you come into the cemetery at the front gate, you're gonna make you're gonna go in about 100 yards. You're gonna make your first right, and then the bush is gonna be on your left. And that red stone with no markings on it That is where Tiger Woods' dad is buried. There is a vase that's empty of flowers, and that is it. Never to be admired, remembered by passerbys generations from now. Kids 100 years from now will romp around this cemetery, cutting through school on their way home, and one kid, two kids, a few of them here and there will walk and read the names of the graves of the dead, and they will all see these two graves, but they'll look at that rock and they won't think nothing of it. So I hope this video stays up for a long time. Maybe that way there is a record of where Earl Woods is buried, and that, hey, he did his wrongs, but at the end of the day, to risk your life and limb for this country deserves our utmost respect. Here on this 9/11 of 2019, a day that will live in infamy, where many people, almost 3,000, lost their lives in the 9/11 terror attacks. So 9/11, I came out here to pay my respects to Earl Dennison Woods. Thank you for your service, sir. And I think it's a shame that they didn't get you a grave, a marked grave. But listen, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. We'll all remember who you are, and good or bad, we'll remember you and your service to this country. Thank you, sir. And this is Lamont at Large. I am coming to you from the Sunset Cemetery here in Manhattan, Kansas. God bless all those that died on this terrible day 18 years ago. Lamont at Large, I'm signing out, guys. Peace out. Thank you for watching.